Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, big him and throw one stone, and it bring about feeling to all wicked men. give and show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling.
Justice and we need it now. We need justice and we need it now. We need justice and we need it now. 10 years waiting is too long. 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 Justice for Maria Dean. Justice for Maria Dean. 10 years is too long. 10 years is too long. Human rights for everybody. Human rights for everybody. Human rights! Respect human rights! Stop police violence! Stop police violence! End state violence! End state violence! Justice for Maria Dean! Justice for Maria Dean! Justice for Maria Dean! Justice for Maria Dean! 10 years is too long! 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 Justice for Maria Dean! Justice for Maria Dean! We want justice and we want it now! We want justice and we want it now! 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 10 years is too long! 10 years is too long! Justice for Maria Dean! Justice for Maria Dean! 10 years is too long! 10 years is too long! Respect human rights! Respect human rights! End police violence! End police violence!
Sorry. Good morning, and welcome to Global TV. Sorry for the hiccup rather. It was 10 years of a pursuit for justice. Yesterday, it was finally delivered in the Home Circuit Court of Westmoreland. Such was the fate of Maria Dean in the care of the state, who was responsible for his care, bludgeoned, strangled, left without an intensive care bed, and a 10 years pursuit of justice that was only delivered yesterday. The mantra justice delayed, justice denied changed somewhat yesterday, as it was justice delayed, but certainly delivered. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning on a lovely Friday morning in the United Kingdom, 23rd of May. The year almost finished already, if you are taking notice. How want to do, everyone? Good morning and welcome. We're going to talk about Maria Dean this morning and the long pursuit for justice, because certainly there are many other parents who are on this pursuit for justice by the extrajudicial killing of young men in the state of Jamaica. Call the pedophile protecting Minister of Justice. And we're back on Global TV on TikTok this morning. We're back. Call the pedophile Minister of Justice, because we have further questions to ask him if he is aware of the dangers, Delroy Chuck, to our children. The minister is concerned with protecting pedophile. Even Babsy Grange seems to be having a problem with Delroy Chuck's protection of pedophile. Call the Minister of Justice, because we have questions to ask. If I saw him, I go just make the sex offenders them let loose for 9 and 11-year-old children, Delroy Chuck. Hmm? 9 and 11-year-old children, Delroy Chuck, you have just set monsters loose amongst us. But let's talk about Mario Dean, because Mario Dean's mother has renewed hope for a lot of parents who are on this journey in order to achieve justice because of state abuse. And the frustration over the last 10 years, some of us would have given up, especially if we don't have the finances to mount such legal fees that cases like this may carry. But it renewed hope for a lot of parents. Ingrid Grandison is one I know of. Donnelly Donaldson's mother, as you know, that trial is ongoing at the moment. The frustration over the last 10 years, she could have given up, and they would walked away scot-free. But justice was finally served yesterday, and we have to say congratulations to our pair of men and women, the jurors who returned a guilty verdict in the brutal state slaying of Mario Dean by the state of Jamaica. Is it over? No, quite not. Because those who have supported Mario Dean's mom over the last decade, you must also support her in her civil lawsuit against the Commissioner of Police. They must compensate her. As well as Mario Dean's mother's grief has been trapped for a decade in her pursuit for justice. Her grieving for her son only starts this morning. So, to those of you who have been there for her all these years, your work is not over, because her grieving process is only starting now, because she has been tunnel vision on justice for a decade. And I'm sure that now the weight of somewhat of injustice has been lifted off her shoulder. She can then now move on to grieve for her son, who was brutally cut down by the state of Jamaica. And she must be compensated for all that the state of Jamaica has put her through.
Walk us through your feeling right now.
I can't even walk it through. It's just overwhelming. After 10 years, and I've been there and have to clench my fist not to really even cry. So it's a sigh of relief. I feel much lighter, but at the same time, after all this, all the pressure that you go through and everything, it's just overwhelming. It's just definitely overwhelming. And you know what I do? I thank God most that He told me that I could keep it out until this time. And I don't know how I would feel if I didn't really stick to the race and do it. It wasn't easy. And I tell you, even since I come here, sometimes I feel like I want to leave, because it's just like it going. But today, I feel relieved, because, I used to say that I'm not even sure that I will get justice in Jamaica. But my God, it's not only Mario get justice today. I know many more people who has lost their son, right, in this kind of condition. Really feel a little bit of relief. And I really, truly thank God and all the support that I get. You guys, you're with me from the beginning, especially Glenn, and, with me from the beginning. And, yeah, it's really good for all the support. JFJ in the community, everybody show up. And there are times when I really feel weak. I really feel like I couldn't make it, but I promised my son on his deathbed that I would see to it that him get justice. And today I am grateful that I really stand up to see the end of it. You know, just give God thanks. I'm just too overwhelmed right now to even give you up.
When you heard the verdict, in court just now, what went through your mind?
Oh God. It's just a sigh of relief. I was nervous. My belly was like, I was nervous totally. But when I heard the verdict, I just feel that sigh of relief on my body just, you know, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. I really need to go.
Even though you have received a verdict today, how do you plan on moving on, especially without your son?
I cannot plan that. I can't plan that. I'll just try to get whenever I need help. I just get the help to move on. You know, I can't plan that, and I can't promise you that I'm going to get over him. But at least this aspect of it is out of the way. Right? I can't tell that I would never get over that. But if I need help, I'll seek help.
I would like to think Mario Dean's mom is a hero of justice because she never stopped. She never stopped with all the frustration. She has never stopped, even though, as she said at some point, she believed that she would not have received justice in Jamaica, but she still stuck to it, as she promised her son that she would make sure justice was delivered. Jamaicans for Justice have their say on the ruling as well. Let's listen in to JFJ.
So what can only be described as an agonizing and traumatic experience for the mother of Mario Dean, Mercy Fraze. We're happy that we can say justice for Mario Dean has been realized. After a lengthy 11-year wait for justice, JFJ welcomes the outcome of the trial that has seen 3 officers being found guilty in connection to Mario's death. We are quite happy that majority of the jury found the officers guilty. And what this particular case represents is the deep systemic failures within Jamaica's justice system, where you can have someone being killed or dying in police custody, and it takes 11 years for a trial to be concluded, because unfortunately there are several other matters that JFJ is supporting family members. One of them, at least 25 years have passed since the family member was killed at the hands of the state, and to date there is no outcome where the family can feel some level of comfort that justice has been realized for their son. When you look at the reasons for the delay in Mario's trial, you're talking about administrative issues, juror shortage, jury summons not being served. These are emblematic of systemic issues in the justice system that we all need to say to the state, these things must be fixed for people to realize justice. Mercy Fraser's courage and resilience is admirable. But again, we're happy that after 11 years, she can finally get some closure for the death of her son. JFJ, we remain resolute in our commitment to advocating for victims of state abuse whose cases have been languishing for years without any closure. We will continue to press for reforms to ensure timely justice, stronger accountability system, and the protection of every Jamaican's right to life and dignity. In this particular case here for Mario Dean, justice delayed did not deny the family justice because we are happy with the outcome. But unfortunately, this is not so for every family member. And going forward, we should ensure that no family member is there waiting for over a decade for their matters to be heard before the courts. And certainly for any accused, they should not also be waiting for a year.
Justice delayed but delivered. So, renewed hope for a lot of mothers like Sophia Logg and Ingrid Grandison and many others who their children was cut down by police officers. There is renewed hope that even in a corrupt, fumbled justice system, we can still get justice. Dana Brazil, come here. Somebody called Dana Brazil there. Dana Brazil, you know, tired for a walk with the story every day. Another lawsuit. Cliff Hughes, you know, nothing for do. Cliff Hughes, Dana Brazil, you know, nothing for do over there. Lawsuit has become so commoner than America. Lawsuit in Jamaica has become more commoner than America. What it is about Uno and lawsuit, Sarah go sue Daz, this I go sue. So what? Why not announce it for? Why don't you send a cease and desist letter to Dawes? Or get your attorney? Won't I write in a paper every minute for? We're not frightened, Dana Brazil. We really are not frightened. So if the intention of every minute to not get up, another lawsuit, you get a lawsuit, we're not scared. What you can do is send your pre-action protocol, which is your cease and desist letter. And then if we don't meet the demands of your pre-action protocol, then you go ahead and send the lawsuit. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue me. You think because you all are promising to, it look like a class action lawsuit, this I got turned out in a Sarah I got sue, and Dana Van got sue. Tufton may also wants to sue. Turn it in a class action. But what Uno can do is go and go sue and stop waste ink and paper. Because come out here every minute, we're going to sue you, we're going to sue you. It's not going to stop Dr. Dawes from clobbering the thieving Minister of Health and the cousin of the Prime Minister. And we are searching, we are digging mousy hole, we are digging crab hole to find out who is Donovan Williams standing up in front of the crab hole for. Because Donovan said, the crab them in the hole don't belong to me. I'm only at the mouth of the crab hole. So we want to know who is behind Donovan. Rather than every minute to talk about lawsuit, which nobody is concerned about and nobody is afraid of and nobody really cares about. Tell us who Donovan Williams is protecting. Is it Andrew Michael Holness, the Honorable DLP doctor? Who is he protecting? But don't frighten us. You barely pass the veranda where you hear Duppy story attack again. You know nobody afraid of Duppy anymore, sir. Duppy and lawsuit is the same thing, you know. What I need to come forth with, it's evidence to counteract those, not apologies and lawsuit. And you, Mr. Doublebed, Idiot, I mean, you're not tired to make fool of yourself. Hmm? Okay, we know so them pay you to make fool of yourself. But you see, sometimes you can put on clothes for foolishness. Hmm? Because who upon was just up in a jacket suit, a damn fool. So with foolishness, sometimes you can put on clothes on it and kind of disguise the fuck Remal and Morgan. Hmm? Sometimes when you dress up with a fool, when you can't just make it just leg us up. Just up on the foolishness sometimes. When you need to come off of the lawsuit and the apology, for God's sake, labor rights. You all been asking for apology and threatening lawsuit. For where are they? We know that Andrew has lost a lot in the Constitutional Court. I mean, we've been calling the Prime Minister a thief for years, and the Prime Minister have not sued one of us. Do you think that's not an admission that the Prime Minister is a thief? But please, stop checking away both lawsuit Cliff Hughes. As a journalist down in Brazil, let me tell you what you should be doing. As a journalist, dear Donna, what you ought to be doing at the moment, you ought to be following where the evidence leading the investigation. As journalists, you have access and you can request certain information. But because you're a labor rights blogger rather than a journalist, then the JLP always send a note to come make a fool of yourself for the little money we want to owe the state for tax. Come on now, man. Blogger out here do better than your Cliff Hughes. You cannot come out every day selling the Jamaica Labour Party story. Soon come to you, Andrew Holness, because you're come with fuckery again. And I'm asking for the quantity, Andrew Holness. But to Dana Brazil, you ought to be investigating if that story goes or not spreading Sarah and Donovan Williams' lawsuit story. If they want to sue, all they have to do is get their attorney to send pre-action protocol, and in 14 or 21 days, if their demands are not met or whatever date they give, they file a lawsuit. It's simple. It's not what you waste paper and ink for. That's all going to be done in the lawsuit. Your job as a journalist down in Brazil is to investigate the story. Dr. Dawes has presented enough evidence where you, Donna Brazil, as a journalist, can investigate as to whether Dr. Dawes' concern about a $32 million jail, which is 10 times cheaper or 100 times cheaper than what them tell we say. That's what you ought to be doing, Donna Brazil, investigating the story, shed light on the story, Donna Brazil. If there's government corruption involved here, Donna Brazil, this is what you ought to be calling out. Every day, sue you. So what? Go ahead. But don't come every day at checking people, because when I tell about lawsuit, it means that we should shut up. You see, there are Stone Age fools and there are modern day fools. I am one of the modern day fool. You check me, you might just get what you want. You check me, say me must shut up and me buy another extra mouth. Your threats will not work. What you need to do is to be, as uno claim that uno are, be transparent with the people of Jamaica. Everybody have pulled them price on the surgical jail. And in whichever currency you buy it, None of the for $32 million. Everybody is researching and pulling the price of the surgical drill, the EM800. Yes. And nowhere nobody is finding a $32 million price tag. So somebody make up something. That's what you ought to be investigating, Dana Brazil. How come it reached the price there for 1 when you could buy about 7, 8 out of the money where them tell we? Confuse you need for dress up. Me tell you if you drop the radio license. Drop the radio license. Because otherwise they wouldn't owe so much money. And where you would in a way money problem. If you come out upon YouTube like all the way like an independent journalist, vlogger, freelancer, whatever you want to call it, Cliff. But drop the radio license. There's no reason for it. There's no reason to be owing us money. For the vlogging what everybody do for YouTube. Come here, Andrew Holness. Jesus have mercy. What him say now? What the fool say? Because you know this prime minister is a fool. Hold on there. Some Jamaicans caution to doubt government successes. I don't know what you're talking about. But the prime minister said his government must continue to spread the word about successes as it approaches the general election. Whoa. What are they, Prime Minister? Can you come and talk them, You come and tell me if you go walk, come you want to walk and talk, Prime Minister. I want to walk and talk your successes. My problem is with your successes, Prime Minister, they're in an ebe shell. They're in an ebe shell. And you have to go put them down pan rock like a monkey and take one of the rock, broke it. Because they're in an ebe shell. So, Prime Minister, may I wait because you know me love car news. One thing with me, Prime Minister, you know, sir, me love car news. I am desperately waiting for JLP, Andrew Holness, and JLP supporters to quantify what success means. Or if you cannot quantify, define the word success, because I know the success when the dictionary not talk about. Not that the one there. I may beg the Prime Minister and a bunch of so and so to do is tell us what are the successes. You can't come with a broad brush one total word. So, what is it? Why you can't even talk about the unfinished thing them, sir? I'm desperate because all of them say it's the most successful Prime Minister. Andrew Holness is successful. In what? In what? You mean to say, when going into an election, and you can't do something on your finger? You're not supposed to be able to count success on your finger. But every day you use the one word. And when people ask you, quantify it. Explain in what areas he is successful. What did he implement that lead you to the conclusion that that's a successful implementation of the prime minister? What is it? Hmm? You can't make people sit down every day and wait, so, and then every day one other one on to turn up. Success. Hmm? You're not was successful in cutting ribbon, Colleen. Not even the only success Andrew is in stealing. That's Andrew's greatest success. That's why you can't talk about it. Hmm? That's why you can't talk about it, because the prime minister's greatest success is in stealing. That's why I be jail people. Oh, he's the most successful prime minister. In what? Can you not quantify it? Can you not point us to something? Can you point us to something substantial? Can you point us to something that will outlive this crooked, corrupt, money-grabbing prime minister? I mean, we're waiting. Anybody? You can't keep talking so the prime minister is successful without being able to point to us the prime minister's successes. To put we now look. It's your job to point us to where it is if we're not looking. Success can be a grain of sand, and especially if we're searching for success, that grain of sand, success, on the beach, it's a big problem, isn't it? So if we're searching for a grain of sand, success, on the beach, it's going to be a never-ending search. Which grain of sand do you pick up, Prime Minister? So on the stop with the whoop of success, because it make gonna look like fool when on a sister. Because success can be quantified. Where you say you have to drill. You have to drill for Andrew success. And we may not have the money to buy the drill, because see one drill. So how much one drill costs? What we could have get about 10. The price them what people are research on the internet. We could have get about 10 drill out of that. We could have get about 10 drill out of that. And if you go to China, you might even just get them cheaper, Debbie Jervis, Wagwan. If you go to China, you might even get them cheaper. But nowhere in this world, there's a price tag equivalent to what Jamaica bought one for. Nowhere equivalent. You can get tantamount out of it. What is this prime minister successful in? What is this prime minister successful in? Tell us. If you don't want to vote for him, if you don't want to give him a third term, you must be able to point us to the success so we can say, that's a good thing. I never know, but now that I know, I can support the prime minister. So now stop the noise. Stop it. When you only look like fool when you come out and do it. When the prime minister, Cousin Marina Wagwan, when the prime minister is only successful in stealing, that's the only thing Andrew ever does successfully, steal. We can point it to Andrew Horner's successes. We can. We can point you to Estate Bridge. We can point you to the development at Wycliffe Close. We can point you to the Stonehouse up there. We can point you to the 3 Company. We can point you to the fucking 28 bank account and more that we have not heard about. And the millions running through them he refused to talk about. That is success. Not to mention, the Prime Minister managed to study a full-time philosophy degree while running your company. That is success. 2 graduation in 9 years, an honorary graduation, a philosophy graduation, 3 companies, and possibly more that Donovan Williams is standing in front of for him. Multi-million-dollar development, trucks all over the country, contracts from the government. This fucking prime minister is successful. I have named you many of the prime minister's success as a prime minister. Now, you, labor rights, name me one of the success that Andrew Holness brought to the country. Can you? Because I've just named you. When I say Andrew Holness is successful, I have given you many different quantities of his success. Can you give us quantities of the success to Jamaica? Other than the pedophiles and murderers they let loose on us? Sometime in the name of crime fighters? Call the pedophile minister of justice. The pedophile protecting minister of justice, Delroy Chuck. Yet another 11-year-old have been abducted and sexually assaulted minister of justice. But yet you stand resolute that sex offenders and pedophile and predatory criminals must be protected from public insult. Must be protected, Minister of Justice, from public insult. Because that is all the Minister of Justice is protecting. Protecting a predatory pedophile from public insult. But not that the Minister of Justice wants to protect your child from being raped, sexual assault, murder, abducted, and traumatized for a lifetime. Oh no, not this Minister of Justice. This Minister of Justice is concerned, Delroy Chuck, with the protection of pedophiles, some of who are in the high and mighty echelons society of Jamaica. Probably loads of them are in our parliament. But the protection of our children comes nowhere close to the Minister of Justice thinking. It is the pedophiles first, said the Minister of Justice. Not your children. Not the protection of your children. The pedophiles come first, said the Minister of Justice. I want to see if I find that clip with Cliff Hughes and Delroy Chuck. I would have clicked there again. I want to see. Is it this? I don't think that's it. Let us play this until we find. I want to find that one with Cliff Hughes and Delroy Chuck. Bear with.
We're going to look into the act that governs the sex offenders. I remember when we were debating in Parliament about the legislation, there were those advocates who said that we must protect the rights of the offenders, although they are offenders. And therefore the registry was not made public, but the information can be accessed. But the ordinary woman and the little girl and the family do not understand the Minister of State and the Minister of National Security. Today I stand here with representatives from the opposition, and I'm saying to you, it's not about politics. And no one must exploit the hardship that is women were going through and the violence that they are facing. We must get one. And today we are here to show our support for the nurses and to show our support for women who are being abused and for girls who are being abused and who are being raped and who are being killed.
She is my colleague, personally. I have spoken to her, but I can't say just because she's not well. She's not well. And you can imagine if after going through an ordeal like that, you would not be okay either. Right? So she's not okay. So we are not okay. And because she's not able to represent for herself out here today, we as a uniform body standing strong to let her know that nurse, we have your back and we are supporting you, baby. And we're against your cause. Important to be a part of this protest because as nurses, a nurse doesn't go as a singular. It's a plural, it's a body, right? What affects one affects all of us. And the fact that a nurse could be brutally attacked like that on our way to work, it affects us. When we got word, everybody was broken at the hospital because when we're out here coming to the hospital to give up care, you could see us and think that it was okay in our uniform to attack her like that. No, we don't.
I'm not finding that particular video, Jamaica, but you remember Delroy Chuck in Parliament was defending, that what Babsy was alluding to. Delroy Chuck was the one who was pushing back on giving sex offenders protection because Delroy Chuck thinks it is a double punishment to make it known to you, the people, that there are dangerous predators around your children. There are dangerous predators in your community. Delroy Chuck is the one that thinks the nation don't need to know that. Because if the nation becomes aware of that, that is then a double punishment. A double punishment.
Assaulting a nurse in Mount Airy, St. Andrew, had reportedly dragged the woman from her car.
It's not this one. I'm trying to find. It's a video with Cliff Hughes and it's a video with Cliff Hughes. Let me see if this is it.
Senator has announced that he's...
No, this is not it either. No, this is not it either. But you remember, Delroy Chuck, wholly and solely, is about protecting sex offenders. He's of the view.
Break, Miss Crawford. The question, the mayor.
No, that's not it. He's of the view that we shouldn't know. Only a limited few people, he said, probation officers, police officers, and those who ought to know. But what about the community?
Scammers, they are criminals, thieves.
What about...
Without fanfare. In other words, that person has been receiving reports, investigating these reports, and reporting back to the ECJ. And, you know...
This one is the ECJ one. But I'm going to find back that video because we need to remind Delroy Chuck every day that every day the Minister of Justice wakes up, he places our children at risk. That is what the Minister of Justice is doing by continuously pushing back on the sex offenders register being made public.
Talking to you.
And we must not tolerate that from the government because more and more we see our children, the risk to our children are becoming greater and greater. And this state don't see it necessary to protect the children of Jamaica. They are more concerned. They are more concerned with their friends who have already committed, was it this? That video should be close to that one. Anyway, hold on. I need to find this video. We don't want DELAYD Chuck. All right, John Crow. All right, drunk from a fine, you.
In Spanish Town, St. Catherine, as family, friends, and residents tried to come to terms with the tragic death of 9-year-old Kelsey Ferrigan.
The whole community aggrieved.
It was here that she was last seen alive on Friday with her younger sibling. Now, several hours later, her body would have been found stuffed in a barrel. The residents are alleging that she was sexually assaulted. The suspect, a known sex offender, and a family friend in this close-knit residence.
He is Giovanni Ellis, otherwise called Cooley, also known as Cooleyman. And we are inviting him to turn himself in no later than 5 p.m. today.
According to head of the Area 5 Police, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, Giovanni Ellis was recently released on bail for an assault case involving a child.
He was out on bail. About 10 days ago, he was released.
TVJ News understands that Ellis does not live on Job Lane and was only staying there with family since being out on bail. And our news team also learned that this wasn't his first offense either. He was arrested and charged in 2013 for the sexual assault of a female relative.
She was 12 years old at the time.
Was how old?
12. When she got raped by him. He knocked her out with a post order. We went to court and him get 3-year sentence. We never expect him to come out back and continue doing these things.
And although his family was forgiving then, this time around, they've publicly banished him. While acknowledging the role that the suspect's family has played in assisting the police so far, Member of Parliament Olivia Grange is appealing to residents to allow the security forces to do its job.
Jungle justice never solves a problem. I understand how they feel, I understand the emotion, I understand the anger.
Babs in a sister. Not the jungle justice to solve the problem, because all the people you use gangsters and take out. So stop that bullshit in my ears this morning, woman.
Go. Because I'm angry. But the law should take its course.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
If a person having been convicted of a sexual offense and has been given a fixed term and has served it and is now back in the community, would it not be a second sentence if the public at large could be said that's a sex offender? So in other words, what would be wrong in allowing only prescribed persons such as the police, probation officers and others to know that this person has has served a sentence for a sex offense? Now, it may well be that if in a democracy, people feel that if you have committed a particular offense, you should suffer the scrutiny for the rest of your life.
But the law should take its course.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
If a person having been convicted of a sexual offense and has been given a fixed term and has served it and is now back in the community, would it not be a second sentence if the public at large could be said that's a sex offender? So in other words, what would be wrong in allowing all
Second sentence, if you, the public at large, could look at Jovan Ellis and said Jovan Ellis is a sex offender, the Minister of Justice says it would be a second sentence to Jovan Ellis if you be made aware that Jovan Ellis is a sex offender. What happened to Kelsey Farragon, though, Minister? And our 11-year-old and 9-year-old children, Prime Minister, are at high risk. But this pedophile protecting Minister of Justice has no care for the children. The minister is concerned with protecting those who carry out those crimes. What a Minister of Justice that is.
if a person having been convicted of a sexual offense and has been given a fixed term and has served it and is now back in the community, would it not be a second sentence if the public at large could be said that's a sex offender? So in other words, what would be wrong in allowing only prescribed persons such as the police, probation officers, and others to know that this person has has served a sentence for a sex offense? Now, it may well be that if in a democracy, people feel that if you have committed a particular offense, you should suffer the scrutiny for the rest of your life.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits only temporarily those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society.
Debbie Jervis, you preempt me. Accurate and exact description of Andrew Michael Sticky Finger wholeness. An accurate description of our Prime Minister pilfering the country with murderers in uniforms and guns let loose on us, and a bunch of sexual perverts and pedophiles in the disguise of the Minister of Justice let loose on our children. But whenever time we complain, there's nobody to respond to us or acknowledge us. We only complain because we're PNP. You know, as long as you find an issue with something in this country, it's because you're a PNP or you're a propagandist or you're a something except for somebody who wants fairness and justice. This government have no interest in fairness and justice, because every time one speaks of fairness and justice in this country, this government and its apparatus goes out on an attack. This government cannot provide any proof to anything that they are accused of. They only threaten lawsuit, to the point where the very own Prime Minister have us in court trying to prevent, or as he wanted, as Delroy Chuck wanted, the Integrity Commission to be forced to give the Prime Minister a clean bill of health that the Prime Minister never had, and the Prime Minister cannot justify to have certified. You call him the most successful government. I call him the most disgraceful, the most corrupt, the most finger-faring government. That's what most of us Jamaicans, day in, day out, are recognizing Andrew Holness to be the most crooked, finger-faring, tyrannical dictator, narcissistic and petulant with it, that our country has ever seen. Look at where he has taken you all as party faithful. You all are throwing battles and stones at each other, loudly in the street as well. It's not that you have gone underground to do it. You're right here in front of us, throwing battles and stone at each other in all walks of the Jamaica Labour Party, from cabinet, central executive, to the delegates, to the workers, to the vloggers. You're all at war. A house divided, Andrew Holness. A house, Andrew Holness, divided cannot stand. And it is the direction, Prime Minister, that you has taken the Jamaica Labour Party into a divided house. Can we then trust that Prime Minister, who cannot control or run his party, to continue the loot upon the country? Come on, Prime Minister. You have filled your pocket enough. Your Siamese thieving twin, Christopherton, has filled his pocket enough. What we want to know, the kickback money from the jail, Prime Minister, which is millions, we want to know how we share up. We want to know who get out there and what it is, how much it is that they get. Because we're not fool. We know so there's a big share up. This is not a big haul in a Prime Minister. All heap of fish come up in the same bunt. Big fish come up in the same bunt, Prime Minister. So what we're asking, two things, is one, how the money share up, and two, who Donovan protect the shares them for. And if Donovan is willing to throw that person out, or is Donovan willing to step down? Those are questions in a democracy, Andrew Holness, as you claim to be open and transparent. Those are questions that your government and the Jamaica Labour Party ought to be having with us, particularly Prime Minister, in the run-up to a general election that you seem to be very, very much afraid to engage with. Very much afraid to engage with, Prime Minister. But your crimes in this country, Prime Minister, I could play Vindicated. Vindicated must be told to the world. So while them a plan for sue Dr. Daz vindicated in the middle of the lawsuit. Me never see anything go so yet. Vindicated right in the middle of the lawsuit.
So I saw the release from Medical Technologies Limited that came out yesterday. And it is like a heavy burden has been lifted off my chest. You see, for months, we have been trying to get the make and model of this drill. We've asked Sarah repeatedly, my colleague in the Senate, Senator Lambert Brown, has been raising this issue repeatedly. What type of drill could cost $31 million? All the answers that we got just pointed to, it's a highly advanced drill, it's the first of its kind, and don't focus on the cost, focus on the benefits. I had a meeting with Sarah, the model number was kept from me. We went as far as to check all the customs records for this company, Medical Technologies Limited, and only 3 drills were brought in, 1 from China, 2 that we presented at the press conference, but we still could not get any response. We had persons on the ground trying to check on the drill to see exactly what model it was so we could do a proper price comparison. The drill has been kept under lock and key and kept away from everyone. There's a culture of fear surrounding this drill and people stay away from it as if it is the Ark of the Covenant. We even went as far, Lambert Brown tried to table questions in the Senate to ask about this drill. He was blocked by the Senate president. Left with no option, we decided to have a press conference where we hoped that presenting the data that we had about the only 2 drills on record, that the Ministry of Health or Sarah would come out and say what exactly this model number of that expensive drill was. We were a bit concerned when the only response was silence from Sarah and from the JLP sending out their attack dogs. We wondered if our plan had failed. Until yesterday, we saw the release from Medical Technologies where they, for the first time, admitted that the model number is a EM800. And for the first time, we know what this exact model number is, who the manufacturer is, and we don't have to guess anymore what the cost is on the international market. My checks saw this drill for no more than $4 million. Very far from the $27 million plus the 4-year service contract, the 2-year service contract valued at $4 million, bringing it to a grand total of $31 million. It is available for all journalists, for all well-thinking Jamaicans to just do a quick Google search. What is the value of an EM800 Medtronic drill? And then you will see that $31 million of taxpayer dollars going into this company for this drill that can be procured for about $3 to $4 million is massive wastage, and it demands further investigation as to how that procurement process allowed this to happen. The other thing coming out of the press release is that MP Donovan Williams has confessed publicly that he has been breaking the law he helped to pass in 2023 that demanded that persons who are holding shares on behalf of a beneficial owner must declare this to the company's office. In doing so, Mr. Williams has now put himself in this situation where he must either resign from Parliament as he's morally unfit to continue to break the law and sit in the House as a lawmaker, or he must comply with the law and name who that ultimate beneficial owner is. We await the Auditor General's investigation. We await Mr. Donovan Williams' decision as to what course of action he will take. If he will protect this unnamed owner, or he's going to backtrack and say that he is the owner and face the scrutiny that this deserves. We also encourage you to continue to support this cause, because it is not an easy one. The pushback has been great, and it is only with your continued support that we're able to continue our fight for what is right, for transparency and accountability. Go do your research on the EM 800 drill, and you will see that you do not need to take my word for it any longer.
Dr. Tufton, you remember when the Bustamante crisis, when the surgery got along in, you said money and our problem. Money and our problem, Dr. Tufton. How come is it, Dr. Tufton, that you not send over the people them money? The people them now go get paid. The people them pay delay until the 26th, and we don't know if them are going to get further delay, Dr. Tufton. But you say money and our problem. So what is the problem, Dr. Tufton? In the delayed payment, after your Andrew Holness friend just kick them down on the road and tap in at them head with you, Dr. Tufton. And them still, I wonder if is a reaction to the protest. Me don't know, me just ask. But how this your government so haphazard and all over the place that this government cannot get salary payment right? Teacher owed salary, nurses either owe or late, police or overtime. This is what I'm asking. How is this government successful? When the government and its civil service is into conundrum. I mean, if the government is successful, you know who first are going to feel it? The civil service workers. But them and the government in a conundrum. Them as the government to take liberty of them. Them as the government to go look out for themselves and not look out for we. How is it that this government can be so successful? And those closest to them who allow this country to operate, because without the civil service, these bunch of dunce like George Wright and Vaz would have just sit down there and yarn or sleep like Dr. Chang, and nothing happens. But the civil service is not feeling it, because them can't get a good pay rise like those who took 300% for themselves. The little pittance what they get, uno still owe them, uno owe them retroactive, uno owe them salary, uno owe them overtime, uno don't owe them. So if those so close to the government ain't feeling the government's success, then something wrong. Something wrong, Prime Minister, because the civil service meant to be feeling the success. They're not feeling it. And I mean, we don't even talk about it because we know say it's a scandal. We know success coming out of Andrew Holness' mouth and cow jump over the moon is the same type of story. They wouldn't make much of a difference If you cut them up and mix them up together, you would know which one is success and you would know which one is cow jump over moon, Prime Minister. This announces story government, because you run this country pan announces story. You run this country pan gimmicks and all sort of nonsense, Prime Minister, except for what we elected you for. We never elected you for thief. That's what you have done for most of your tenure. We've never elected you to become a dictator. It is what we got from you. We've never elected you to be corrupt, because you, Prime Minister, promised us on your election campaign how much you're going to fight against corruption. The wicked lion fly green saying heart bleed. This is a running water, another sentence that fly green. After 9 years, what we have got is more black tanks. I can tell you that. But didn't Miranda give you a good whooping the other evening? I saw it, Mr. Green. Ooh, Miranda threw you up against the wall. Fly green. Winifred Saunders, welcome to Global TV. Miranda really gave it to you the other evening. And I don't see how Fly Green, with the devastation of fishing and farming in St. Elizabeth, is going to cross it at the next general election. And the oldness, we're trending up ourselves for the war, you know. Oh, God, what a war, I go sweet. Me have got to dedicate journalism time to this year war in the Jamaica Labour Party the morning after the election. It will turn up before that, you know, but it will turn up more. It will reach a pitch after the election, because me want, if we plan to stay on as the opposition leader, if we collect how much $1 million in the Prime Minister, because you're that greedy. Because you're going to be removed from the helm of stealing. You're going to want to hold on to that $20 million worth of salary. And Prime Minister, it will be a disgraceful showdown, because people are there waiting to get rid of you. And for an incumbent government Prime Minister, this is how the Westminster democracy works. It's only labor rights don't understand it, or it's not understood properly in our country. If an incumbent government Prime Minister has lost an election, you must, as Prime Minister, the incumbent, step down or announce your resignation within 24 hours until a leader has been elected. But under the Westminster democracy, Prime Minister, you do not lose an election as an incumbent government and stay on as the leader of the party, because you couldn't have taken home the victory for the party. There's no future leadership for you winning a next general election as an opposition. So it is for you, Prime Minister, to give somebody else the chance to see if they can wicked, thief, lie, and corrupt like you. But what we would not want to see you is as a lying, corrupt opposition leader. We've had you in the past as a lying opposition leader. Maybe we didn't view you as that corrupt then, but ask Arthur Williams and Chris Tufton. You have been a crook for quite some time, Prime Minister. And you have become a dangerous crook to the country, haven't you? Since the Andrew Wheatley debacle, Prime Minister, is there any time in your government where we've ever short of a scandal to do with money? This government has robbed children blindly. This government has raided the education budget at every opportunity it gets the chance. From the days of when this Prime Minister was at the Ministry of Education, mind you. caring government. Caring government. I really don't know what this Prime Minister is talking about when him talk about caring government. The only thing that Andrew Holness cares about is his pocket and nothing else. That is all this crook cares about. Filling his pocket, filling the pocket of his friends, family, and everybody who can help him carry the stolen goods. But remember, Prime Minister, your son is as much of a thief as you are. Because under the Theft Act in the UK, the handling of stolen goods, Prime Minister, you are guilty of the offense. And we know your children is carrying stolen goods. We know your mother, your father, your cousin, the Williamses, the Feathers, and the Dunder, whatsoever them name, the one that turn up in front of the shares. We want to know whose shares is Donovan Williams standing in front of. We also want to know the kickback money from the jail. How much people was it dispersed between, and how much did you all get? Bunch of crooks. Thank you very much for being here with us this morning on the Global Television Group. Lovely to have your support as always. Me now watch the junker, the Missy she and the dirty ear one where fans should come in a parliament or ear in a wash. Fans should come a parliament, she no wash now comb her hair. So me would even pay attention to them. Because they know that they're going to lose the election. They know that they have already lost the election. So that's why many people pay them no mind, because his party help you win the election and Andrew mash up the party. So I don't have any worries about Andrew right now. The only worries I have is the Prime Minister buckle under the pressure. And call the election. When you say Wayne Evans may run, all right, make me run what Cliff Hughes and him friend them don't like again. Vindicated, because of this a mad them, you know. Vindicated a mad them. We don't know which one I find, you know, Colleen. I got time for which one. But he have money in our name. Hold on there. You're all saying to me no audio. What is wrong here now? Can you hear me? Let me know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, you are hearing me. Wow. Let me see what is going on here. Gosh. Let me undo the screen share and do it again where it should pick up the audio from the video. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let me know now if you can hear.
So I saw the release from Medical Technologies Limited that came out yesterday.
Can you hear Dr. Dawes now?
It is like a heavy burden has been lifted off my chest. You see, for months, we have been trying to get the make and model.
Actually, get a long time to see.
I asked Sarah repeatedly, my colleague in the Senate, Senator Lambert Brown, has been raising this issue repeatedly. What type of drill could cost $31 million? All the answers that we got just pointed to, it's a highly advanced drill, it's the first of its kind, and don't focus on the cost, focus on the benefits. I had a meeting with Sarah, the model number was kept from me.
Yes, it's low on my
We
head.
went as far as to check all the customs records for this company, Medical Technologies Limited, and only 3 drills were brought in, 1 from China, 2 that we presented at the press conference, but we still could not get any response. We had persons on the ground trying to check on the drill to see exactly what model it was so we could do a proper price comparison. The drill has been kept on the lock and key and kept away from everyone. There's a culture of fear surrounding this drill and people stay away from it as if it is the Ark of the Covenant. We even went as far, Lambert Brown tried to table questions in the Senate to ask about this drill. He was blocked by the Senate president. Left with no option, we decided to have a press conference where we hope that presenting the data that we had about the only 2 drills on record that the Ministry of Health or Sarah would come out and say what exactly this model number of that expensive drill was. We were a bit concerned when the only response was silence from Sarah and from the JLP sending out their attack dogs. We wondered if our plan had failed. Until yesterday, we saw the release from Medical Technologies where they, for the first time, admitted that the model number is a EM800. And for the first time, we know what this exact model number is, who the manufacturer is, and we don't have to guess anymore what the cost is on the international market. My checks saw this drill for no more than $4 million. Very far from the 27 million plus the 4-year service contract, the 2-year service contract valued at $4 million, bringing it to a grand total of $31 million. It is available for all journalists, for all well-thinking Jamaicans to just do a quick Google search. What is the value of an EM800 Medtronic drill? And then you will see that $31 million of taxpayer dollars going into this company for this drill that can be procured for about $3 to $4 million is massive wastage, and it demands further investigation as to how that procurement process allowed this to happen. The other thing coming out of the press release is that MP Donovan Williams has confessed publicly that he has been breaking the law he helped to pass in 2023 that demanded that persons who are holding shares on behalf of a beneficial owner must declare this to the Companies Office. In doing so, Mr. Williams has now put himself in the situation where he must either resign from Parliament as he's morally unfit to continue to break the law and sit in the House as a lawmaker, or he must comply with the law and name who that ultimate beneficial owner is. We await the Auditor General's investigation. We await Mr. Donovan Williams' decision as to what course of action he will take. If he will protect this unnamed owner, or he's going to backtrack and say that he is the owner and face the scrutiny that this deserves. We also encourage you to continue to support this cause, because it is not an easy one. The pushback has been big, and it is only with your continued support that we're able to continue our fight for what is right, for transparency and accountability. Go do your research on the EM 800 drill, and you will see that you do not need to take my word for it any longer.
Vindicated. You know, I'm one who in the past have literally thrown the People's National Party up the wall for their tardiness in holding this crooked government to account. But like I've always celebrated Dr. Campbell and Damian Crawford for holding this government to account, I must also congratulate Dr. Dawes on uncovering a massive plot in the Ministry of Health. This is something very serious, and as Dr. Dawes says, this is just a tip of the iceberg of the corruption unfolding under Chris Tufton. Chris Tufton, who is hoisted to be the next leader of the Jamaica Labour Party and opposition in our country. We cannot turn a blind eye to this destruction to our health care. It is what this government is doing. They're destructing the entire country. They're destructing education. They're destructing health care. Look at our roadways, our waters, our public services. Everything under this government has become a literal shamble. Everything the government working up in half done. Up in urban center without toilet. I mean, you want Alice to go sell crab, Prime Minister, and then on the turn around and blame Alice when Alice gonna go shit in a bucket? What a lopsided government. Look at what our youngest Prime Minister has come to. Worse than the Wassaras Prime Minister Andrew Holness. We had confidence that a young Andrew Holness, born in the 70s like me, would have felt what poverty means, what deprivation means, what exclusion means because of your class. Isn't this the same type of bullshit that we have been fighting against, that this Prime Minister is meting out to us day by day? We must get rid of this crook. And we thank Dr. Dawes for unearthing this plethora of corruption in the Ministry of Health. And there will be an awful lot more to come. I wonder if this government will get away with the crime it commits against us under the next administration. Will the next administration allow this government to get away with the constant pilfery of the public purse? The most disgraceful government, the most corrupt government, the most thieving government, the most dictatorial government, the biggest time waster of a prime minister we've ever had. run an entire country from a mobile phone. What a waste of time, and your wholeness. What an awful waste of time. That power we have given you in this country was the biggest waste of time since independence. Because one thing we have been doing is been asking you, Prime Minister, to quantify your success. And not you nor anybody in the Jamaica Labour Party can answer that question. You can't even call the election. You can't even hold the party together, Prime Minister, that which ought to assist you in securing a third term. Look at what you have done to your party. Labor rights. Labor rights! You vloggers, like you Chopper Johns and you Vegas and you Dujons and you Black Kings and you Munches and Barbarellas and Sandy Gullies, where are you? Oh, not so quiet. At election time, you should be all rolling and looking if the sand is sandy or if the stone is stony. And where are you? Because the Prime Minister turned up a empty place. What is happening in the Jamaica Labour Party? Does anyone know? Does anyone know what is happening in the Jamaica Labour Party? Because we can't see Uno. We can't hear from Uno. What is happening? Why are you all so quiet? Shouldn't you be out there singing lullaby to the nation of how great of a Prime Minister, how successful of a Prime Minister, albeit for his own personal gain, that he is? Oh, no, sing lullaby. It's a disgraceful ending, Prime Minister. It is really a disgraceful ending. To see when you've needed it most, it has all collapsed right in front of your very eye. The party is at war. The cabinet is at war. Because Babs said, Delroy Chuck is defending pedophile and she wants the law reviewed. And you're all just attacking each other. Every ton with ton, somebody is throwing stones at each other in the Jamaica Labour Party. I mean, you have 49 of you. And because so much of them, Prime Minister, perform so badly, you have to be removing some of them. You have to be changing some of them because they've performed so badly. It goes down to your dismal leadership and your wholeness as the executive of the corporation. You couldn't have hold your middle managers together. Your middle managers and your wholeness, they failed miserably. And that goes down to the chief executive that could not run the company well. I hate make everything pop down upon you, That is why everything, Prime Minister, has fallen apart at this point. It's because of how you have behaved in the last 9 years, particularly to members of the Jamaica Labour Party who you are now looking for their support to give you power again. And they are saying, no way, Jose, you have become a dictator to us. Even though we have attacked the country when they spoke about your dictatorship, you have become that now to us. Because you're saying this party is an Andrew Holness dynasty. And it's not a Jamaica Labour Party of many different voices. You must, he said, have Andrew Holness' voice. You don't see how you mash up the party, sir. You don't see how your petulance, your dictatorship, your narcissistic behavior. You don't see how everything, you mash up both the party and the country at the same time. That's a terrible person, It's a terrible person that destroyed the party and the country at the same time, and is asking the very same people to trust him to do the same motherfucking thing again, Prime Minister. Oh, you so fool. The thing say we are gonna believe you. Say, because you suffer with a 9 year, and then when election come here, walk and tie on ribbon pan and finish things, we're gonna give you 5 more years to finish tie on and ribbon pan and finish things. Who you want, bright so? Well, then you get free doctor, you study for doctor. While we were paying you to do fuck all, Prime Minister. Like literally, it is what we have been paying you for. Because while we were paying you, you were running 3 companies and studying a doctoral. Isn't it? While we were paying you, or while we were sleeping in the night, you were studying and running companies. Nowhere in this world a chief executive would have it like that. Running a company, doing a full-time philosophy, running 3 companies, and an executive officer of a you one. And God bless you, Prime Minister. Me just ask. And God bless you.
Old boy, this father God. Oh, he lie and blood clot me when me tell him that. What a wicked old boy, this father God. Oh, he lie and blood clot me when me tell him that.
Me just ask Prime Minister, and God bless you. Me just want to know. Me just want to know if God bless you. That's all me would have want to. Because you grew up as Adventist, you say you're a Christian boy. Me want to know this morning, Prime Minister, if God bless you. This is where I end it this morning and hope the Prime Minister could answer the question. If I bless, God bless you. And if I bless you, Prime Minister, what about us? What about we where they are tired and labor so hard? If I bless, God bless you, Andrew Holness. Thank you for being here this morning on the Global Television Group. Lovely to have your support. As always, join us back this evening for the people's point of view. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV. Thanks for the donut, Yvonne.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. So, my favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Make him man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead and can sell out Rasta. I sell a house, I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the price. You might show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, you might show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What the prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, big him and show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big him and show one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.